Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome to the abandoned house. Well, it's not so abandoned anymore. Well, we're not living here yet, but we are making some progress. We finally got electricity, which means we can finally turn on the water. Well, we got the water turned on, and we found out there's leaks everywhere. But before I tell you about all the leaks, let me go back and recap you on how we got to this point and how we got the water to get turned on. So in our last video, we told you we were waiting on electricity to be turned on. Well, Alicia calls me one day when I'm at work and says, the electricity is on. And I was like, okay, I'll run over there after work. I'm gonna turn the water well on. So we have well water that runs off electricity. No electricity, no water. Well, now that we have electricity, we should have water. So I come over here after work. I didn't bring the camera because I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. It was also getting pretty late. So the first thing I do, I come right here to this breaker box and I flip that breaker. That's for the water well. Walk over here to the water well right there, and it's not running, it's not building pressure, nothing's happening, right? So turn the power on, no water. So I think, let me go inside and check the breaker box. Maybe there's no power to that box. I go inside, everything's all good. Also, the AC is running, which means that box should also have power because they kind of share power right there. So, next step, I decide to come over here and pull this box off. This is the old school system. It's points, because sometimes points can get all dirty and not make good contact, and maybe that's why it's not running. We have our points right there, and the first thing I notice, they're all pretty dirty, so I'll go ahead and clean them up. And all the leads for the wires, well, let's be honest, the guy who did it probably wasn't an electrician because half of them are pretty loose, and I was like, okay, that's the problem. I cleaned everything up, I reseated all the wires. Now we're gonna have water, right? Wrong, we're not gonna have water. So I have everything cleaned up. I'll run back over here to the side of the house, turn the power on, run back over there. Still no water pressure. So now it's time to start investigating. So I get my multimeter out and I come over here. This thing has power and is sending power. This guy right here is not getting power. And that's where the investigation started. So you might notice there is a line right here running across the driveway. That's right. That's the electrical wire for the water pump. It runs from there to there across the ground. That's not the original one. The original one is this one right here. It actually went in the ground underneath the driveway to over there. But somewhere along the way, it got a short or something in it happened, and it no longer worked. So they temporarily ran this cable across the driveway, which we found out later, temporarily turned into a year or two, because that's just what they needed it to do whenever they were doing the renovations. So I come over here to the water well and I pick this cable up and I start pulling, and an end comes to me. Then I come over here to the driveway. I pick this cable up and I start pulling, and an end comes to me. So I unburied that little section right there and I found this. So that's my job, by the way, just temporary, don't worry. But there was a splice here and it had come apart, and it was actually underground right there. So we cut the ends off, we re-spliced it, turned the breaker back on, ran over here, and guess what? We have water. We have water. The pump's coming on, everything's doing good. So now that we have water, I have my valve set up. So this is a valve. By the way, you couldn't see any of this. I'll explain more of this in a minute, but I thought this was to isolate the house. So I closed this valve, I opened this, and my idea was turn the pump on, bleed out the system, get all the junk out of the lines out here before sending it to the house. That's not how it works. So when I was done blowing water out this line, I opened this and it just blew all the water out here, because this is not an isolation valve for the house. This is to bleed the whole system down. There's actually T's that go in the ground right there, and there's actually no way to isolate the house and just run the pump by itself. So I'm gonna have to add another valve there, because I think it's important to be able to turn the pump on and blow everything out and get the pump all primed up and ready to go before sending the water to the house. I also learned that the water does not go to the house first. The water actually goes to the shop, then to the house. I also found this fancy conduit right here with some wires hanging out, and I'm going to assume that that runs right over here to this wire right here, because they told me they had originally planned to move the well from the house, so the line's not doing that, to run off the shop. So if that wire is that wire, then maybe most of the work's done on getting it rewired and getting the line across the driveway removed, because that's not going to work. We can't just keep running over this wire. Honestly, it's been ran over quite a few times. I'm surprised it's still working. So now that we have water in the house, which I didn't plan on it, I was actually wanting to turn the water on slowly and then go check for leaks, I realized there's been water on the house the whole time I'm out here bleeding. So we go inside and we start checking water faucets to see if there's water in the house. And yes, we do have water in the house. We also have electricity. That's pretty nice. So I come over here to the sink, the kitchen sink. No hot water, but plenty of cold water. And it's flowing. So I come under here. And guess what? The hot water is turned off, the cold water is not. The hot water, even though it's off, is leaking. And it's not leaking from the threaded connections, it's actually leaking from the valve. So no matter how much I turn it, it's still got to seep. It's just seeping. So I throw a quilt under there because I have nothing else here to stop the leak while I go check things out. While I'm doing this, this slowly stops flowing. Like the water just stops coming. And I go, that's weird. Let me go check somewhere else. So I go back to the kids' bathroom. And when I get in the kids' bathroom, I turn it on, hot and cold. Both are flowing. So now there's water in here. So I run back to the kitchen. When I get to the kitchen, I take the screen out and it is plugged up with all kinds of junk. So I'll let it blow itself out and clean itself out. While I'm doing that, I hear the sink in their bathroom stop flowing. So I kind of already know what's going on. So I come over here, take the screen off. It's plugged up with stuff. I let it blow itself out. Meanwhile, I look under the sink and guess what? Also leaks. There's leaks under this sink as well. They were over there, so I know it's on the cold water side. Not real sure exactly what it is because, well, there was leaks everywhere and I was moving kind of quick. The toilet works great. Need a toilet seat though. But that was all good. And then I came into our bedroom. In the master bathroom, we have a lot going on here. The toilet works all right. The shower, I turned it on, it worked all right until it clogged itself up. Had to pull the screen, blow it out. Same with the sink. It worked until the screen got clogged up, so I also blew that out. Have not found any leaks under here, but I did find a whole lot of plumbing things going on that way. They don't really scare me yet, but there's a lot going on and there's a lot of copper under here. Actually, is that water? Okay, not water. Good job. Our tub. So the water works just fine. It didn't drain. So I filled it up to try to wash it out and check it. It took like 30 minutes to drain. So I'm gonna have to sort that out, but at least the water works here. So I call Alicia and tell her the water works. It's not good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off and bleed the system off because we have some leaks we need to fix. Which is sort of understandable because no one's been here for 3 years, right? So it's fully understandable that there's gonna be some things going on. She says, hey, before you turn it off, check the hot water heater. And I walk up to the hot water heater and I was like, this thing looks brand new. All the plumbing looks pretty good, but there was one thing. I was like, it's not gonna work. She goes, how do you know? You haven't tried it. I was like, you see this right here? That is the wiring for the hot water heater. It is not wired up. So even though it's brand new, it's not gonna work. So we have to address that. Conveniently, they made the wires probably exactly the length they need to be to work. So who knows? We'll have to sort that out. But look at that. Barely enough wire. So then I turn the water off and I leave for the night. And I think, okay, not a big deal. I'm just gonna go to the Blu store and get some parts. Well, I came over here the next day with Phil and we were doing some yard work. Y'all haven't seen that stuff yet. But Phil goes to get his chair. Phil's chair was in this room, laying on the ground. Phil fixed his chair up and his chair is wet. So it turns out these spigots, even though they're for the washing machine, even though they're off, they were leaking water and it was all over the floor on Phil's chair. So Phil has a wet chair. Well, while he's looking, he goes, "Hey, what's going on here? A wall right there." I was like, "What do you mean?" And I poke it, it's all wet. So now it looks like we have a water pipe in the wall leaking. So that right there is for a sink. That right there is for the washing machine. There's also a spigot outside. So in there somewhere is potentially a leak that we have to sort out. So that brings us to where we are today. Today, we're gonna start taking things off. We're gonna make several trips to the Blu store, and we're gonna try to fix all of our leaks so that we can have water on all the time. So while I run to the Blu store, let me take a moment to thank today's sponsor and the sponsor of this video, Brooklyn Bedding. It's time for a giveaway. We're gonna be giving away a Brooklyn Signature Hybrid to one of you guys out there. Starting today, May 2nd through May 16th, all you gotta do to get yourself in the win is head over to pavenewpass.com and get yourself some Pave New Pass merch and get here to win your very own Brooklyn Signature Hybrid in any size from Brooklyn Bedding. All right, so you guys have been following along forever and know that we've been sponsored by RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding the whole time we were traveling, and we love their mattresses. When we approached them about the idea that we may not be traveling anymore in an RV, they said no problem. We have a whole lineup for non-RV mattresses. So here we are. We are now sponsored by Brooklyn Bedding. Brooklyn Bedding has been in the mattress industry for over 25 years, known for top of the line comfort and quality, but without the luxury price tag. They truly deliver the best sleep ever with mattresses custom made by the best craftsmen in the industry. Plus, they have a factory in Arizona and ship conveniently to you for free anywhere. They offer different firmness options, heights and dimensions, even non-traditional sizes to fit right into your lifestyle. They really have something for everyone. So as you guys know, we traveled full-time in the RV and we were raving about our Brooklyn Signature Hybrid that we had in our master suite, and it was the most comfortable mattress we've ever slept on. So when we decided to partner with Brooklyn Bedding, it was a no-brainer to go with them again for our kids' room. And you guys saw, we ripped out the Half-Jack bed system, the toy hauler, and we replaced it with 2 queen-size beds for the girls. And for them, we went with the Dream Foam Essential Memory Foam. And it was amazing, and we actually took those mattresses out of the RV, and they're in the girls' room right now. But we have a problem. We have a third kid who needs his own mattress. So we reached out to Brooklyn Bedding, and they sent us a Brooklyn Bedding Essential for our boy Caden. So we know the comfort and quality they provided with the 3 other mattresses we had, so we know this one's gonna be perfect for him. We know choosing a mattress can be a big decision. That's why Brooklyn Bedding offers a 120-night sleep trial, and they back it up with a 10-year warranty. Brooklyn Bedding delivers your mattress to your door for free anywhere in the United States. Plus it comes in a box and is rolled up and it's super easy to set up yourself. Brooklyn Bedding has their own factory in Arizona. That means they would use premium materials at a reasonable price with no middleman to bring up the cost. We love our Brooklyn Bedding mattress and we think you would too. If you're in the market for a new mattress, head over to brooklynbedding.com. You can check the links in the description below or go to brooklynbedding.com/PaveNewPass to get 25% off your new mattress with the code PaveNewPass. Once again, thank you to Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring this episode and their continued support of this channel. Now you guys want to see what I got from Lowe's? I got an assortment of things. One, we got air filters because, well, these are dirty and we like to breathe clean air. I got a new toilet seat for the girls. I got one of the ones that has like 2 seats, one for adults, one for kids. I have a new drain stopper for our master tub because, you know, when you press on it, it doesn't pop up. I'm gonna take the original one out and see if it can be fixed, but I got a replacement. I got an assortment of brass connections. This should be to fix the kitchen sink temporarily because we're gonna have to probably modify that for what we wanna do with the dishwasher. I got some of these as new spigots for the washing machine outside, which by the way, that's a thing. I'll show y'all that in a minute. And I got some pipe thread sealant. Also have the Teflon tape as well. So under here, we have that right there, right? So it was leaking, and what I realized is I have no way to hook up my dishwasher. My dishwasher goes right here, but there's no water supply. So that is likely why these were installed. I know there's a T going to the refrigerator, but there's no way to hook up hot and cold water to right there. So I found a cap to go right here just to cap that off, because whenever I open it up, there's no cap, so it just sprays water everywhere. And we'll sort out what kind of valve we need to install there to get the right stuff. Honestly, probably gonna call a plumber, because these are copper lines. They have an assortment of copper to whatever connection is going on, but I'd much rather just sweat them, whatever y'all wanna call it, back on and do it the right way. I've never done it before. I think that's an acquired skill that you have to practice to do. But I'd like to do it the right way, to where we have all the shut-off valves for the sink and the dishwasher separate. So right now, we're just gonna make sure that doesn't leak so we can have water. Out here in the washing room. The washing room, by the way, look at this. These are my valves that were on the washing room. These were so bad, like that right there, when I took off the connections, it just broke. So it broke that one. See, it broke off. And then this right here, I thought I was gonna twist off the house to get that done. Look what I had to do. So I cut a hole there. That's where the wall was lit. And guess what? There's no water pipes there. But clearly you can see the wall was wet. But there's nothing wet inside there. It hasn't rained, so I don't know what's going on there. It's not a big deal, because we know this room's gonna change a lot. So likely this whole wall, the sheetrock's gonna be pulled off, because we need to make some changes right here. This is the washing machine hookups. When I started trying to break those connections off, I thought I was gonna rip this out of the wall. I know it's copper, so I cut a hole so I could see what I was doing. I managed to get them off, and now we need to put new spigots on. They're temporary. We do not want this type of connection for our washing machine, nor do I think we want it right here in this position. Because, look at this. This door right here has to open. Well, if I put a washing machine or a dryer right there, it's not gonna open. It's gonna come to about right here. May not be a big deal, but we'd like the door to open all the way so we get access to it. So, that being said, I already know those water lines probably aren't gonna stay there. Also, there is the electrical connection for the washing machine. There's for the dryer. We know the dryer is gonna be over here probably. So we know everything on this wall probably needs to shift. So we know we're gonna move that plug, these water lines, probably those drains. And this right here is actually a drain and water supply for a sink in front of the window. So we know we're gonna put a new sink in, and probably a cabinet of some sort. So that's why we know this whole room, or at least that wall, gonna have some major things happening. So not a big deal I cut a hole, because I'm probably gonna cut that whole wall out, move things where they need to be, then fix the wall. So anyway, I'm gonna get to work, put all this stuff together, and I will show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Hopefully we can turn the water on and not have water leaks anymore. You guys should see what I just did. I'll give it to plumbers. I don't know how they do what they do, but I found out why the master bathtub doesn't drain. I was gonna take it out and have a look at it. Did not take me long to figure out why the water won't flow through it. You wanna see? It's pretty rough. Pretty sure I almost threw up in my mouth. There it is. That's all hair. The most disgusting part about it is, it's not my hair. It's not Alicia's hair. It's none of my family members' hair. It's somebody else's hair. So I give it to you, plumbers. It's more than just screwing pipes together. It's touching other people's stuff. Pretty gross. So I think we found out why the tub doesn't drain. It's because it had a sponge. As Alicia said, I just sent her a picture. She said, did an animal die in that bathtub? Because that's how much hair is in there. So that part's fixed. By the way, you guys are probably wondering where Alicia and the kids are. Well, they're not feeling too hot. So they're over at Phil and Lolo's trying to get better. Also, we have a big surprise in the next video coming up. I'm actually getting something really awesome. And the kids are too. And I just finished putting those together and they're here at the house. So we don't want them to see them yet. So for this video, no Alicia and no kids. Maybe Phil, maybe Lolo, who knows, see if they come over here later. But I also got a new toilet seat installed for the kids. Look at that. That's really gross. Don't mind that. That's not us. That's the same person who died in the bathtub over there. Look at this. Alicia told me to get one that doesn't slam down. She may think that takes too long. But it also has this thing right here. So our kids who are still potty training or don't like the big opening can use this bathroom and not be scared. And then here we go. That really takes a long time. But it's better than it slamming down. And then I managed to finish putting the cap on the kitchen sink. So the kitchen sink should be ready to go. And then out here in the washroom, I have the new spigots installed. There they are right there. That's just temporary because I really want to do one of those recessed boxes and have everything recessed so I can put the washing machine and dryer against the wall. So that's not how that's going to stay. That's just how that's going to stay right now, so I can turn the water on and it not leak, because the old ones, even though they were closed, they were still leaking water. You can tell they've lived a long life and it's time for them to retire. So now it looks like it's time for the big test. We're going to turn the water on and we're going to go around and find out, do we still have leaks? And then maybe we can sort out what's making this wall wet. Wish me luck. Here goes the water. We have water in the house, although it's not perfect. But here's the kitchen. Super aggressive. The reason the nozzle is off. Can y'all see that? Y'all probably cannot see that. It's full of all kinds of pipe gunk. I can see it. There it is. Y'all just can't see it. I'm sorry. The other ones are just as bad. And under here, it doesn't appear as though we have a leak. I also checked out the old washing machine. The old dishwasher that they had in here. And it's just one line. They have a really long hose that runs all the way over to that. So that is for the dishwasher. So right now it's got a cap on it. When we get the dishwasher installed, we'll hook that back up. The washroom so far is not leaking. I did crack them a little bit to help bleed some air out. But you see, they're good. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's a lot of pressure here. But they are holding, so that's good. I don't see any new water yet. But that may take a little while because it was almost 24 hours from the time I turned it on to the time that Phil noticed it. So maybe we risk it and leave the water on all night and come here tomorrow and find out what's leaking. So the kids' bathroom, same thing. There you go. Look, every faucet is like that. It's just immediately clogged up. But we got great water pressure. Oh, little air. I'm basically just gonna leave everything running for a while and try to flush everything out. And then under here, that is a little wet. So which one of y'all is leaking? It can only be that side, or maybe up there. Anyway, I'm gonna let that hold pressure for a little while longer. And if it is leaking, I'll find the drip sooner or later. The toilet here, super aggressive toilet, by the way. Watch this. Look at that clean water. There's it's a well water, so it's gonna take a while for us to get all that gunk out. And then in here, here's our shower. Had to take it off because you guessed it, full of stuff. Our sink, full of stuff. Lots of water. Don't see any leaks under here, but I do see some questionable plumbing or some we made it work kind of things. Our toilet. And then we still have that. I went ahead and took the drain out because it just wasn't hair. It actually is broken. So here is the drain plug. Right here. You're supposed to push it and it pops back up. Push it, stays down. This is the new one. So right now it's open. You push it, it stays down. You push it, it comes up. That one doesn't do that. So we're gonna replace it with this one. That way we have a working drain. Then we'll turn that bathtub on, fill it up, clean it out, and let it all drain out. And I'm probably gonna let everything stay on water for like an hour or two. And then I'm going to do one more check to see if I can find any more leaks that are slow leaks. Anyway, be right back. All right, I'm back. So we replaced the drain in the master room. We're making sure it holds water. I'm actually out here in the shop. I forgot. I have a sink and a toilet out here. Unfortunately, I don't know how to turn this light on. I don't see a switch. Where is the switch? I think maybe it's over here. It'd be weird to be over here. There's lights there. Still no light in the bathroom. All right, anyway, hopefully you guys can see. We have water out here. And we have a place for Phil to hang out when he's hanging out with me in my shop. Now, let me go show you what's going on inside. It's actually much better than it was when we started. I did find one more leak, not a big deal. It's a shut-off valve that's leaking out of the stem. I've tried to take it apart and tighten it. I'm just gonna buy another one. It's cheap. So that's on the list. But everything else so far is doing really well. Still no leaks in the wall yet. These guys still doing good. In here in the kitchen, we have been running the water for about 30 minutes. You can still see there's all this dirt and stuff coming out, and there's air. But I'm gonna leave all the nozzles off for a while because I'm tired of them clogging up. As soon as I put them back on, they clog back up again. But under here, no water. So that's 1 point me. I stopped with that leak. The kids' bathroom is where the shutoff valve is leaking. I've been running this water as well. You can see there's a few drips right there. It's from the stem. So I have it turned off right now. I'll pick up one from the Blu store here in a minute. And then you have our bathroom. Still dirty water coming in. That I'm gonna need to wait for a shower curtain because it basically, Alicia's not gonna be happy with how dirty that is. This guy right here has been running for a while. I have the nozzles right there. And you can see our new drain. Look at that, holding water. When you push it, now it drains. It drains a whole lot easier when there's not a whole dog worth of hair in the drain. Look at that, hear that suction? I feel like I've had a lot of small victories today, a lot of small victories. It's not ready to be moved into, and I actually made more things to fix on my list than I actually fixed today, but we're moving in the right direction. Ew. It's probably better at least you didn't see this. You wanna see what 3 years of not changing your air filter looks like? Look at that. Look at that. Better yet, let's go outside. Let's go outside and throw it down so I can get the full effect of how dirty this is. Look at all that sand. Look at all that sand. Oh, I'm glad we're changing it. I'm glad we're not staying here right now. So that's dirty. I also found out that we have another filter right here that's actually not even installed. It's probably for the best because it was probably that dirty as well. So I'm gonna put some new filters in this thing. So we got the air filter in the hallway replaced, but the one here at the unit, I now know why there's not a filter in it. It's because how they mounted the unit. Because there's a door frame right here, I can't actually get the filter in there. So there's that. Good job. Good job. You know, I think that's what you get when you buy a house as is. It's a fixer-upper. You start to find all kinds of quirks. And this house was built in the late 60s, so I'm sure we're gonna find tons and tons of little quirks. I don't know that we can, actually, you know what? I may let Alicia move this air conditioner unit now, just so I can put a filter in it. Because she doesn't want it there anyway. She wants a door right there into the living room. So, maybe we can move it over there, and then we can install it in a position where you can actually service it. I tried. It's just not gonna go in there. I have to run and feed my animals at the ranch because today's the weekend. So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna leave the water on because I'll be gone for about an hour, and that'll be my test. When I get back, I'll be able to look for any leaks. I've been here for about an hour and a half with the water on. There's no apparent leaks. Besides the one shut-off valve that is got a slow trip to it. I shut it off and it still weeps a little bit. I'll grab a new one of those when I'm in town. But I'm gonna leave the water on. I'm gonna run feed my animals. And hopefully when we get back, we have no new water mysteries in this house. See you guys in a little bit. And we're back. Can you guys believe that you saw 2 trips to Lowe's in the same video? Yeah, it's becoming a habit. So I actually forgot to tell you guys, I turned the water pump off, right? Because it has a pressure gauge out here. So I turned the electricity off to the water pump because it's kind of like an RV. If the pump can't come on and there's a leak, I'll see it drain down. Well, the pressure is still at 55 PSI, which is what it was when I left here. So that means there's no new leaks or no significant leaks. So let's go see how things are going inside. So our wall area is not wet. These guys still dry. That's good. Let's check out the kitchen. Under the sink, still good. Let's go check out the kids' bathroom, which it should have the leak because, well, it's still dripping when I left. And right there, I put that piece of cardboard, so it still is dripping. That's actually what we got at Lowe's. And let's go check out the master. So everything in here looks good under the sink. So there you have it. We only have one leak left, and that was the isolation valves I went to Lowe's to get for the kids' bathroom right here. So once I fix that, we should have no leaks. Well, I say that sheetrock got wet for a reason. So whatever that reason was, we still need to address it. But like I said earlier, we're gonna be remodeling this whole place. So that whole wall is likely to get the sheetrock removed and everything's rearranged. By the way, have you guys been to Lowe's in a while or Home Depot? This is not a blue store, orange store thing. Things are expensive. Like, I've been out of the homeowner game for a while. I got supplies. Look at all these supplies. Brooms, mops, cleaning supplies. We even got trash cans finally. We're officially homeowners now. We got 2 trash cans. And that cost me an arm and a leg. And I haven't even bought anything really for the house. That was just supplies to get the house ready for us to start moving in. Speaking of expensive things, there's something that's real expensive that didn't used to be that expensive at all. Have you guys priced fertilizer recently? Since I'm a homeowner now, and you guys know how much I love to mow, that's the reason me and Phil were over here yesterday when we found the leaks. We were actually getting ready for this storm right here. So we bought fertilizer and grass seed. Since we cleaned the yard up and there's lots of dirt now, we decided to overseed the whole place and we fertilize it with hopes that this storm's supposed to rain for about 12 hours, that it rains enough to make it grow, but not so much that it washes it all away. So either we're gonna have green grass right here, or it'll all be really green down there at the end of the hill. Either way, guys, it's gonna be a real expensive yard because, whew, fertilizer. Fertilizer is expensive now. It was probably double what I remember paying for it. But we're gonna have a pretty yard. Speaking of pretty yards, you guys are gonna really enjoy what we have for you guys in the next video. I got a toy. I got an awesome toy coming. I got a toy that's so awesome even Phil likes it. And you know how Phil likes to pick on me about my Ford stuff. Even Phil likes my toy. So in the next video, I have, ooh, here comes a storm, guys. Time to sign off. So in the next video, stay tuned because I have an awesome toy coming. And we also are gonna give the kids their 2 awesome toys that I've been working on over here. That way we can all start making this yard great again. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. We love you, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, I'm back. I didn't leave yet. I think it's important to talk about this. So this is the first time I've been here since the rain. It's beautiful. One thing I noticed, we're gonna have to do a gutter right there. That's not ideal. Not ideal at all. But man, look how pretty it is outside across that field with the rain. This is also a good time to find out where the water goes, because it's gonna go places. Let's go check out the front. That's that good rain. That's that good soaking rain. Man, we are gonna have some grass around here. Can't wait. I cannot wait to show you all the grass. Please don't wash all my seed away. It was very expensive. Also, I just realized, some of y'all probably seen it in the background the whole day, that my living room is basically a power tool storage. I have 2 blowers, a weeder, a tree trimmer. That's because our shop out there, that one right there, doesn't really lock yet. And 3 of the 4 doors are missing windows, and you can basically just walk into them. So that's how much Alicia loves me. She's letting me keep all my power tools here in the living room and the kitchen until we get that sorted out. Plus, that shop's not really ready for things to go in it yet. The previous homeowner still has things in there he needs to get out. So until he does, we're not gonna really store stuff in there because there'll be people coming and going. Plus, we're not living here yet, so we don't want to keep the expensive stuff just hanging out unsupervised, if you know what I mean. Not that anybody's gonna take anything, it's just that locks, that doesn't. And we're not over here every day. Man, look at that driveway. Look at that sweet work truck. I'm glad it's raining. It needed a bath. It's been pretty dirty lately. I've been too busy to take her to the car wash and get her cleaned. She's gonna look good now. But come next week at the ranch after this rain, she's gonna be real dirty. Anyway, guys, I thought I would share with you the rain. I love the rain. I love the rain in the country. It's just relaxing. All right, now the video's over.